What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here. We are back, and today I am going to be showing you guys how to get the Toroid resources that you're going to need, first of all, to build Garuda, as well as to turn into a syndicate down in Fortuna. So we have a few different type of Toroids, one of which is the Vega Toroid. We also have ourselves the Calda Toroid and the Sola Toroid. Now we'll get into a little bit more details of these toroids, what they, where they're going to be here in just a moment. But the second location where these are important is at this syndicate location, which is in the back room on Fortuna. This is where you're going to turn these into Little Duck for the syndicate standing with Little Duck. Now, these are, at the moment, not too many people know exactly how to get these. The rumors have been going around that there are more than one locations for some of these resources. However, I will be showing you the 3 surefire locations to get each one of these toroids. As long as you go in, you stick around long enough to kind of go out and get these. So, first off, the Vega Toroid, which is the green-looking toroid, will be, of course, on Fortuna or Orb Vallis at the spaceport. The spaceport is kind of a big base that you're going to end up at. You can expect a number of different enemies at this spaceport. I won't spoil things too much for you because a lot of these bases I think are very cool to explore, and when you're over there you're going to run into some pretty exciting things. But for the most part, this base is pretty large. You can go inside and there is a large outside portion of this base. Personally, this is the one base that I actually enjoy being on the outside of in order to pull off this task. But you can see the base in all of its glory flying around it, and it looks absolutely magnificent. Now, I'm going to show you all 3 bases that you're going to go to, and then we will explain exactly how you're going to go about getting these resources. So, the second base that we are going to be checking out is going to be what's it called? The Temple of Prophet. So the Temple of Prophet is a large base that you guys probably saw if you saw the reveal, the Fortuna reveal from TennoCon 2018. This is the massive statue of Nefanyo, and this place can be fairly hazardous. I believe this is the one base with the highest level enemies, but I could be wrong. I do believe the enemies also scale up depending on how long you are in the base, and this one was probably the toughest out of the 3 for me. But this giant base is actually much larger below than it is above ground. Personally, this is one that you want to avoid being above ground for. This one is there's the possibility of having the spider proxy come out and start just ruining your day. There is also some turrets that are set up on the outside of the base, which can really ruin your day. So the best way, I think, to go about infiltrating this base is to kind of sneak up on it and immediately enter the base as quickly as possible so you don't run into too much resistance outside. And then lastly, the third base is actually going to be a base that I'm sure most of you are already familiar with, and that is going to be the Enrichment Labs. Now, there are rumors that this resource is also available over at the Transit Depot. That I have not completely confirmed, but I have absolutely confirmed that at the Enrichment Labs, which is the base that we saw also at TennoCon, it's the base that's pretty much right outside Fortuna. It's the one with the giant spider proxy on it. That may change in the future when more reveals comes out and these spider proxies are more of a threat. But this large base is, well, I mean, it's a fairly large external area. You won't encounter too much resistance on the outside of the base until you really start pissing off some of the corpus. but you actually want to enter this base as well in order to kind of create some havoc, to stir up some, the troops and have them all come at you. Because we're getting into the way in which you go about actually acquiring these resources. So, the main thing you're going to have to do is to make your presence known, basically. You're going to want to get the corpus alert to the fact that you are there, the fact that you are trying to create some issues for the corpus, the base itself. And then you're actually going to want to get to the maximum alert level. If you're familiar with Grand Theft Auto and the way its alert level works, you're going to want to get to the fourth alert level, the highest alert level you can get to. When you do this, you're going to, number one, every time the alert level goes up, you're going to see more and more resistance. Now, you're going to also, as you go along, see, I think, enemies level scaling up, because when I first went in here, enemies were around level like 15 or so, and then by the time I got both resources that I needed in order to make Garuda, the enemies were around level 25 to 30. So, and I did this solo. I do highly suggest doing this in a party as long as you have a fairly decent party. I took a Nyx and I basically was able to chaos a lot of the enemies, and by doing so I took a lot of the focus off myself and I was able to kind of go about doing what I was doing. I also was using a radiation, putting radiation on all my weapons so that anyone that I shot would fight each other, which also helped out. But like I said, I highly suggest doing this in a party if you can find people worth doing it. But you can see that I am killing some people as we go. You can feel safe about killing the guys with the Kreska scythes. You can also feel safe about killing everyone with, or all the MOAs. The turrets you can take out as well. But the guys you want to leave are the guys that will be leaving the alert, the beacons. Those are the little crewmen that are running around. You'll see the actual beacon on their back, and then they will eventually, once the alert gets high enough, they will place it down on the ground and call in more troops. You can see that in time, as I'm allowing more and more of these troops to stick around, these crewmen, the alert status is going up, more of these beacons get placed, and you're going to want to reach, of course, like I said, the maximum alert level. Once this happens, expect a serious amount of troops spawning in. Like I said, you're gonna have to, be pretty geared up in order to make this happen, especially at some of the other bases where I feel like the resistance is actually much higher. But when you're in here, once you hit alert level 4, do your best to avoid destroying any of the beacons, because if you destroy 4 or too many of the beacons and the alert level goes down, you're going to have to find a way to get that alert level back up. So, Warframes, personally in my opinion, Warframes like Equinox that can do just a huge area of effect damage may not be the best way to go for this type of mission. Anyone that's doing a lot of area damage that can risk destroying these beacons is probably not a frame you want to take in here. So if you do get into a party, you may want to kind of keep an eye on that. Sometimes you can also, if you're really, really geared up, and even your sentinels are geared up, or your Kubros or Kavats are geared up, you can sometimes walk in here, and your Kubros and Kavats will kill the enemies faster than they can put down beacons, so that also could be an issue. But for the most part, get in here. I personally like the inside of the 2 bases that I mentioned, and then the outside of the starport, just because I feel like you have more control. You have more control over that. We've been playing Warframe for 5 years. We've been playing in closed quarters, hallways and stuff like that for a very long time, so you should be used to fighting enemies in this circumstance. But I actually was able to pick up a Toroid almost right off the bat. Do not expect them to drop that quickly. It took me about 15 to 20 minutes to get 2 of these in a regular run. I'm sure with rare resource drops and all that stuff, you can make that resource drop a little bit quicker. Maybe with a Necros or something like that, you could come in here and make those resources drop quicker. Also, if you do have a double resource booster, where the resources drop the double amount, you can pick up multiples of these. You can pick up two Toroids at once, which would make this job much easier if you want to use a booster. But it's not necessary. Like I said, 15-20 minutes in here, especially with a party, and you should walk out of here with the 2 you need to make Garuda. Like I said, you also will need these for the Syndicate, but that's, you know, you can farm those on your own time. I highly suggest going in, getting what you need for Garuda, and kind of getting out, if that's your focus. But that's about it. Really, it's that simple. Well, I say it's that simple. I did it solo with a well-built frame. Like I said, jump in here with a team, and this shouldn't be a problem for you. Truly, honestly, it's a matter of just finding out where these items drop, and you'll be fine. So that's going to be it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this. A like and all that stuff would be great. I'm doing a lot of Fortuna tutorials and content on the channel, and I'm also going to be streaming, if you are interested, over at twitch.tv/thatreallygrossguy if you want to come hang out. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Until then, blow!